Welcome to the Icon of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship. In this video, we're going to give you a tour of the entire ship, deck by deck, and at the very end, we're going to give you our favorite place to eat and favorite parts about the world's largest cruise ship. Heather and I just got off a 7-day cruise on their second sailing.
It was amazing. I mean, unlike any other cruise ship we've ever been on before.
We're going to take you along the cruise, deck by deck. We're going to tell you our favorite things about the cruise.
The 4 different neighborhoods we got to experience.
I think there's 8 neighborhoods. So there are 8 neighborhoods on the Icon, but we're going to take you deck by deck through the neighborhoods. Towards the end of the video, we're going to give you our favorite place to eat, our favorite thing to do, what we didn't like about it, what they could improve upon.
Come join us.
So we're going to start from deck 3 because 1 and 2 is basically crew quarters. There's a gangway.
Oh, deck 3, the first thing that we're showing you is the My Time dining. That's what Reggie and I kind of prefer because we don't like the schedule of time. If we're in the middle of having fun doing something like trivia or any of the game shows or anything, we just want to go at our time. So this is the My Time dining room, along with a couple floors up is wherever you would go for the scheduled dining. Each night was a different theme, like most Royal Caribbean ships have. So you have a variety.
Overall, pretty good food. Because we were skeptical when you have to feed almost 8,000 people on a cruise ship. You feel like they'd take some quality off of the food, but I'll eat anything, and I enjoyed every bit of it.
And this is just the My Time dining and the restaurants that's included in your ship. This doesn't even include all of the many other.
We have many more restaurants to cover.
Now we have the conference room, which we didn't spend any time in, but
it's a conference room.
Yeah, it's just exactly what it looks like.
Moving on up to probably one of our favorite floors, deck 4. Oh wait. Before we move up to deck 4, we're going to talk about the elevator system, which I love.
Oh, the best.
So on our last cruise ship, as you know, there's usually 2 main elevator hubs, and if everyone wants to go to breakfast, there's one elevator, and it's crowded by the time you get to 6 or 7.
You're stopping, you're going, you're stopping, you're going, you're waiting for it to go down. This system was amazing. You push what deck you want to go to. It tells you what letter to go stand in front of, and everybody that's going to your same floor or similar to it just goes to that elevator.
There's probably a lot of engineering and mathematics behind it. Whatever they did, it worked. So there's usually 10 elevators in each hub, and we waited no longer than 20-25 seconds, and every time we got on the elevator, it was rarely crowded, which is what we were concerned about.
Yeah.
Being on the largest cruise ship in the world, and probably the most passengers in the world, we were worried about crowds, and it did not feel crowded.
It was amazing.
Caveat though, for their first and second voyage, I think for the first few months, they're not at 100% occupancy or capacity. They're just doing about 80% just to kind of get a feel for things. So it wasn't as crowded as it could be, but even with that, we felt like we had most of the areas to ourselves sometimes.
Absolutely.
Moving on to deck number 4.
4.
Usually at night, I feel like things would trickle down to decks 5 and 4. 4 is the casino. There's a good central bar, a lot of table games, blackjack, craps, roulette, a whole bunch of slots. And then it kind of fed into the music hall, which there's usually a lot of live music. And then outside of that was the Royal Theater.
Royal Theater. So it was just a little bit of everything happened in there. We thought that cruise ships, typically, they don't have slots that actually hit. People next to us, $7,000, this and this.
There were a lot of high hands dealt in the table games, and a lot of slots were paying out.
Me too.
Another cool thing about the ship is a lot of the bars are themed, and they will only have specialty cocktails at each bar. And I'm used to going on a ship and there'd be maybe 5, 6, 7 different spirits, but this one had almost anything you could possibly think of. Every menu at every bar, I'm going to try and go through as many menus as I can. There's a lot of interesting cocktails. They spend a lot of time making these drinks, so it would like pull you to certain bars. Music hall is also a good venue. It's cool. It's because it's kind of tiered. It's kind of it's intimate, but it really feels like you're at like a small little concert venue. So live music was played there, and then Heather's favorite,
bingo, which he won, which I love. I mean, I'm a little jealous because I like to win, but bingo was up there. Bar on the top floor, bar on the second floor. They had game shows in there, like Reggie said, a live band almost every night.
Making our way up to deck 5.
They put some time into deck 5 for sure. Had one of my favorite spots, the Spotlight Karaoke, the big promenade, the Pearl, which was like the first thing you saw right whenever you walked onto the ship.
It feels like you're in a shopping mall, but there's also a lot of cool venues, and it's got a lot of personality. So there's Heather's favorite.
Spotlight Karaoke. That, I mean, we've been on ships that didn't have any karaoke. This had almost like a 24-hour karaoke going.
There's no shortage of karaoke.
Yeah.
So if you like to sing or listen to people sing, this is great.
There it is.
A lot of the shops. Plenty of things to buy, as always. They didn't really push it too hard. Sorrento's the classic staple. You can get pizza almost any time of the day.
Also all the handbags that they have for sale. Oh, there's the Pearl. The Pearl, oh my gosh, that was like amazing. It kind of like moved inside, so it felt like you were under the water while you were in it. That's definitely an awesome staple piece for this icon of the seas. Also on the promenade, they had a balloon drop at midnight for the first night. That was amazing.
That was cool. And there's my favorite bar, which I didn't get too many of the footage of, the 1400 bar. It's opposite of the Pearl. This is kind of where you're gonna have your crafted cocktails. A lot of really nice drinks, well-made drinks. So if you're really a fan of just kind of well-made cocktails, the 1400 bar is one of the best.
The Point and the Feather, of course, we did some. It's like a little pub where they had trivia there, and also they had an independent singer. What was it like
They had a lot of music there, usually a lot of folk and guitar and Irish jigs, and then also darts, which I didn't even know they had. So if you're looking for the darts, you got to go kind of into the pub and then over to the left, and you can play darts and get a Guinness. That
is amazing. Amazing. And again, like Reggie said, how they cater to the bar, so that one had more of like the pub type drinks, your Guinness, oh, sorry, I laughed at that because anywho. So also, I mean, I would like to do a shout out to all of the really cool statues that they had around. I think we just saw the dog peeing on a post.
There's a lot of neat art. Yeah. And one of the cool things we found in our room, there's an entire book of most of the art pieces on the ship. And so you can see who the artist is, where it's from, and all that. So that's kind of neat. We are on level 6. 6 it's pretty neat. A lot of the areas you don't have to use the elevators. There's a lot of staircases, there's escalators. A lot of it flows pretty kind of naturally, especially into the promenade where a lot of the action is.
Sports bar.
It's probably rocking today. Today's Super Bowl Sunday. This is probably where the place is to be on the Icon of the Seas. But you have pool tables. You can get, I don't think the food's included in the sports bar, but you can get like classic burgers, nachos. The menu looked pretty good. You can also get to your owner. You can rent out the owner's box if you're looking to probably pay a little extra just to have like a VIP section and watch whatever you want.
A little something for everybody. We definitely got down on some Mario Kart.
I may have lost.
Oh, and then this, I've never been on a ship that has an ice skating rink on it before. But they also put floors on the ice skating rink at night, and they have crazy game shows, which we partaked in one of these for sure.
If you've never been on a Royal Caribbean cruise, or you've never heard of Crazy Quest, this is a must go to. Do not bring your kids.
Yeah.
This is a must go to. It's our favorite. We didn't actually see any of the ice shows, but the theater was pretty neat. A lot of space, and it was a cool little venue. But Crazy Quest is probably one of our favorite game shows.
It's so funny.
We were cracking up most of the time. We can only show you bits and pieces because a lot of it is rated R. Oh, they also hosted the Family Feud there.
Oh yeah, Family Feud.
It's a pretty cool venue for any type of show.
That's our cruise director, Mike
Wazanowski. Fitness center is on level 6. So this is actually a pretty big fitness center. There is a jogging track around the entire 6th, I think it's the 6th level, and it's pretty big. About 2 1/4 laps equals a mile. So overall, it's actually bigger than a regular size track. And then on level 6 is the fitness center. There's plenty of elliptical, treadmills, weights, free weights, bouncy balls.
Oh, bouncy balls for the dog that I didn't get to see. Robert, the ship's dog.
There is a golden retriever on the boat, so anytime you see the golden retriever, it's like a win. It's always excited to see you. For the most part, the fitness center, I mean, it's going to be crowded kind of in the gym hours after breakfast. I think the crew has their own fitness center, which is nice because on prior ships, I know the crew would share the fitness center, but this one I think is specifically just for guests, so it doesn't feel all that crowded.
Of course, we didn't go into this one. This is just a place where you can go drop off your kids, which I heard in the elevator, kids were asking to go here. They had like their own ice cream machine. Like they have a little bit of everything there.
There's the teens club on that side. And then there's also the Adventure Ocean where you can it's like daycare basically. Mm-hmm. So we didn't go to that, but I heard it's pretty good.
Oh, okay. So this was one of our favorite floors, I would say. Still on deck 6 over here. This is on the upper level of the promenade here. There's tons of bars. They have the Schooner bar where we played many different types of games. There you can see they're doing ballroom dancing or some sort of Latina dance in there.
Schooner bar, a lot of cool drinks. I would recommend the toasted marshmallow old fashioned. Delicious.
Mm-hmm. Then you could only get it at that bar, which that's what he was saying about each place having their own specialty drinks and stuff. So Schooner bar, toasted marshmallow old fashioned.
Giovanni's, if you like Italian, this is a cool little wine bar. It overlooks the Pearl. A lot of good wines at this area, excellent view, and if you want to pay a little extra for some good pasta and brick oven pizza, I'd recommend Giovanni's for sure.
Oh, every night, one of the most happening spots, the dueling pianos. I mean, playing all of your classic ones that you have, and it's always fun because they make it kind of like a fun back and forth type thing. Always brings in a nice crowd, but still tons of places to sit. I mean, it was a fun happening place.
One of the cool parts about the promenade at night was most places would be popping off. The dueling pianos, the pub, and boleros, and each place would be blaring music, and you could hear it all from the promenade, but when you're in the respective theater or restaurant, you can only hear that. So it's pretty cool. You have your choice. You can go to you can listen to some folk music, you can go to the dueling pianos.
You can have it's something for everybody.
Also a cool venue was the...
Ooh.
What's it called?
The comedy show. It was called the comedy...
The Attic.
The Attic.
The Attic.
Yes.
So the Attic Comedy Club is also on this level, and I think they're trying to imitate one of the New York comedy clubs in the city. And this is a pretty cool place. We saw a lot of funny shows there.
We're entering Surfside. Surfside, I think, was one of my personal favorites for visually appealing because it reminded me of Dr. Seuss Land. It was just like colors.
It is like a theme park.
Yeah, it was really fun.
If you have kids, this is where you're going to spend the majority of your time. And it's not just for kids, though.
No.
Because we don't have kids yet. One's on the way, but even without kids, there's a couple cool places for the adults.
Oh, absolutely. So the kids have like their own little water park there. And I like it. I feel like it also caters to adults too, because there's a bar attached to it that has kid drinks and adult drinks. And then they have like this whole grill that you could get all like your pizzas, your chicken nuggets, all your stuff. So you don't even have to leave the Surfside little neighborhood here.
Decent bites. It also connects to the Kids Club and Adventure Ocean, so you can drop off your kids, go to the bar, and do your thing.
Some of the VIP rooms and stuff, they have slides that literally go
dump
down
right into the Surfside.
It's crazy.
Cool. So if you have $100,000 to spend on a suite, go for it.
There it is. Carousels, arcades.
You can ride the carousel for free all day.
Face painting.
Making our way up to level 8.
Beautiful, beautiful Central Park. This is a great place if you just want a nice little quiet time to eat. They have little cafes there. They have jazz lounge.
Yeah, they've actually put Chops Grill in Central Park this time around, which is kind of neat. So it makes it more for an intimate experience. Mm-hmm. The Trellis Bar, a staple, and then there's a new place called Azumi, where you can get
hibachi or sushi to go. You walk
sushi
up to
on the
window.
go.
Oh yeah, love me some sushi.
Walk up there and you ask for sushi or ice cream to go, and there's the menu, and you can get sushi on the go, which is insane.
Yeah, and then you could enjoy it in the park after you get it.
There usually it was a pretty chill environment. There weren't too many kids running around. It was more of like a relax. It's actually really cool at night too. So during the day or at night at Central Park, there's a lot of bird sounds. There's definitely no birds on the boat most of the time, but there's a lot of bird sounds. So it makes you just feel like you're in the city or in a nice freshwater park. And there's usually a cool breeze. Oh, another cool thing for Central Park, you can actually see the water through all the glass features, which is kind of neat. So even though you have your own little park area, you can actually get a feel through the water. I think that was an intentional flow. There's a nice little cafe in Central Park with a couple of staple sandwiches. A lot of the restaurants have specialty, either cocktails or sandwiches that you can only get there. And one of their signature sandwiches, I think it was called the Kumawek or Kumawek. It's basically, it's like roast beef on a hoagie with a nice horseradish sauce. It was very good. So if you're looking for a nice roast beef sandwich, go to the Central Park Cafe.
Also, there were people taking their wedding photos here.
I think there was over 20,000 or so plants that they mostly got from Barcelona and Puerto Rico, maybe, I don't know. But there's a cool little champagne bar there too. This is a new thing to have. So if you're a fan of champagne or bubbly, this is the place to go.
Didn't get to drink any because I'm pregnant, but you walk up with your cup and you just get a glass of champagne to walk in the park with. And of course, all of your shoppings, it's going to be in there.
Karcher?
Of course. And then
Jazz Club. This is a nice new place too. We actually didn't hit the Jazz Club, but we walked by it a couple times. It's a chill environment. If you're looking for just a nice, relaxing jazz club, go to Lou's.
Mm-hmm. So all in all, I feel like Central Park is a great place to kind of go and unwind. It's a little bit more slowed down where you could just really take in the sights around you and relax for the evening or the afternoon.
Very, very pretty.
14. My favorite spot, the spa. I didn't get to utilize a lot of the bars here, obviously, so I took advantage of the spa and the blow dry bar. Having long hair, I don't want to spend 45 minutes to an hour and a half blow drying it each day. Also got my nails done, great facial, great massage. I mean, I enjoyed the spa for sure.
Pretty neat spas, 2 levels. I think on the floor plan you'll see it on deck 12 and 14, but the main entrance is on 14.
Towards the end of the ship, end of the sailing, they had deals for port days to come on in there and whatnot. So if you wanted to try it and weren't really impressed with the prices, just hang out and wait till one of the port days, and they have offers. You know?
Absolutely. There's also a cool little bar, not bar.
Yeah, it's like
juice bar.
It's a juice bar, so you can get your
smoothies,
smoothie.
Red Bulls, protein milkshakes. They do have champagne with like peach puree. So you can have whatever you want. Alcohol anywhere you want. Level 15, there's a lot of food on 15, a lot of cool places on 15, and then the Royal Caribbean staple.
Room service.
Oh, the Windjammer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like,
so
sorry.
The Windjammer, it's the biggest Windjammer they've ever made, and it's always a zoo in there, but it was actually pretty smooth. I didn't feel too.
There was stuff everywhere, and of course they also stuck to the themes and whatnot, and they had it where it was almost like a U shape. So you have like the inside of the ship that was open in the beginning, in the middle, and then around each side they had all of the seats, so we didn't feel like too crowded. We always found a place to sit no matter what. Yeah. And you think that many people, Windjammer is always the most happening spot. They did a really good job.
It was cool. There's a lot of good selection. The food was pretty good. It's a Windjammer, so when you want food right away, you got the Windjammer. And if you want to avoid the crowd, they did have free room service. The menu was pretty decent. I think there was like a $9 charge just to get it delivered.
And it was like within 40 minutes. Yeah. All the food.
You can schedule breakfast in the morning as well with room service, and you can also order any time of the day, 24 hours, which is amazing.
Night.
It's called A Loco Fresh or Cantina Fresca, but they had basically free tacos, free burritos, nachos, guacamole, salsa station, cheese, and you could literally jump into the hot tub, out of the hot tub, grab a taco, go back into it. So it was the best of both worlds. So there's a lot of good food, guacamole if you're looking for Mexico on the go. Cantina.
And then not to mention the margarita bar attached to it, where you can get all of your...
True. There's no shortage of bars.
Yeah, these really, really cool round chairs.
Basically the best nap station on the cruise ship right here. If you're looking for a good nap, a little comfy spot after your burrito. And then I think there were 3 or 4 different lime and coconuts. So all the pool decks usually had a lime and coconut. There was a frozen lime and coconut bar. Which was pretty neat.
Yeah, so it was really cool to get your virgin pina coladas or your regular pina coladas with floaters and just head straight back to the pool after.
She is pregnant on this cruise, so that's why. I'll be drinking for 2.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh,
probably my favorite spot on the ship in the forward of deck 15 is the Aquadome.
Yeah.
So this is a giant theater. There's a lot of panes of glass, and it has an amazing view, especially when you're moving. You just overlook the entire ocean. It's a cool feel, it's a cool vibe. It's usually kind of cool in there, so it's not too hot. And
not to mention the coolest show, too.
True.
One of our favorite shows was the Aqua Show. I have something like you haven't seen before.
They had 4 or 5 Olympians on just some of their staff. The show was incredible. It's a kind of a staple. You have to go. You can reserve a time, but most of the time, if you want to go, and there's a lot of stand-up areas if you just want to stand. But you can reserve a time. You usually have to go 15 minutes early just to make sure you get a seat.
And it was really awesome to see them jumping off of diving boards and in the water. I mean, it was definitely something that you would never think you would see on a cruise.
One of our other favorite places was the Aquadome Market. I think one of my favorite meals was one of the pitas. It was a rice bowl, pita.
Make your own. Yeah, it opens at 10, but we definitely spent some time there. The coffee bar, all of your eccentric type coffees that you can get right there.
Coffee cocktails. You can get like a good espresso martini from the Ryan the Bean.
And look at all your view there. Just gorgeous. Also to go with the Aquadome theme was the hooked seafood. You overlook the Aquadome in that restaurant and seas on your other side there. I mean, look at how impressive this is.
And then the overlook. This is a cool spot. It seems like a futuristic type area. It seems like you're in a bubble, like Mars.
The Jetsons.
Yeah. A lot of cool places to just chill, play some cards, read a book, and there's usually some nice little quiet music playing. And this is also one of my favorite bars. Is the Overlook bar? One of my favorite cocktails was at the Overlook Bar too. I can't remember what it was, but it was pink, and there was a hibiscus flower in it.
Yeah, it seemed like you were under the water and had all the fish going through. Just a really nice ambiance all together.
Yes, one of
and
my
again, a
favorite
nice
spots.
chill spot right there where there's
Super
a
chill,
limited
wasn't
amount
too
of
crowded.
seats.
Exactly.
Ooh, and then it brings us to one of our favorite shows, something that you feel like you would not see on a cruise ship,
The
but
Aqua Show. I don't remember what it was called, but it was pretty neat.
Oh.
Windjammer. Back to the Windjammer.
the washi-washis.
Oh, speaking of washi-washi, while we're on it, you're going to have the washi-washi guy. They had hand washing stations everywhere, which is nice. But also, a lot of the ship is like touch-free. So all the bathroom doors, which I hated on the other ships, you would have to open all the public doors. But these ones have automatic openings. So even after you wash your hands, you don't have to touch the handles, which I think is clutch, because the last thing you want is to spread a bunch of stuff on a cruise ship.
Especially with that many people, too.
True.
You would
So
think
I
that,
loved the touch-free
everything.
dryers, doors. It made it feel a lot cleaner, and there's washing stations everywhere.
Everywhere.
So this is level 16. This is kind of straight up from the Aquadome. Is more of the suite, I think, restaurant, the Coastal Kitchen. So it's only for the suite members or Pinnacle members, for the VIPs. So I can't tell you much about the Coastal Lounge.
Just to quickly go
awesome view overlooking the Aquadome. So the Coastal Kitchen looks like a cool spot. The Suite Neighborhood's on 16, and then Chill Island, which is a lot more.
Island.
Probably one of the more poppin' spots during the day. If the sun's out, people are going to be over here, specifically at the Swim and Tonic Swim Up Bar. Definitely the biggest swim up bar on a cruise ship.
Yes, and then they also have the biggest actual pool on a cruise ship on this level
which
as
we're
well.
gonna get to just a sec.
This is that those blue chairs, like you could sit halfway in the water, so you're not just baking in a chair. And they had an abundant amount of those. They had lounge chairs in the water, and then they had these mats on the deck. So there was no shortage in seats, which I'm always worried about because you get those early birds that go out there and throw their towels
True.
on. And
We never had to fight for a seat.
It was perfect.
If you're worried about that, or you're looking to upgrade and just rent out a spot for the day, you can upgrade these casitas and what are they called?
Little cabanas.
Little cabanas. It's for a pretty penny, but on port days, if you're not getting off the boat or if you've been to these ports before, there's a big discount, so you can get a good cabana.
It goes from
port
like
days.
$7.50 during on our cruise days, and then
So a couple
$2.50.
If you're splitting it with another couple or family, I think it might be worth it if you're worried about crowds.
And you get full bar service, like everything there. So it's a nice little retreat from.
But if you're not looking for it, there's plenty of open seating that you don't have to pay for. You don't have to wake up at 5 in the morning to reserve a seat.
This
Slides.
is fun. Slides to
Like
get from
chutes and
deck to
ladders.
deck. Yeah.
Another lime in the coconut.
That was the frozen bar, the first that they've ever had, which is really cool. Everything is just walking distance from pools, from jacuzzis, so you're not really cutting into your time to go get food, drinks, or anything like that.
And you can see the largest pool on a cruise ship right there. I think it's the Royal Pool, the Royal Bay Pool.
Yes, it's called the Royal Bay Pool.
Hot
Yep,
tubs
that's us
everywhere.
enjoying it.
Again, doesn't feel crowded. This is a port day, so it's not going to be as crowded as a sea day. An amazing overlook infinity area. There's a lot of neat little nooks. So it's not one pool. There's 7 pools on the ship, and there's 9 whirlpools or hot tubs or something, whatever you call it. So
Amazing.
7 pools.
And yep, Chill Island goes on 3 decks, so you could experience all the different pools if you wanted to on those different ones.
Moving more towards the aft of the ship is base camp. Base camp's where a lot of the action is going to be happening. A cool little restaurant, and you have to pay extra for these. The food looked good. We didn't try that in particular, but they did have some included small bites at the bottom. Another thing is they had mini golf out here.
Which is like honestly the place to be. Yeah, Thrill Island. So Thrill Island, we did the mini golf, which was awesome because they had so much extra features than the last place.
They did put a lot, yeah, because the prior mini golf was pretty boring, but this one they put a lot into it. So I think your kids and family will appreciate it.
And we appreciated it too.
We did. I definitely did.
Yeah, whatever. You and your hole-in-one. Anyways, moving along, you could kind of see in the background there, they had the 6 water slides, which they just looked incredible. Since I was pregnant, I wasn't able to go on it, but Reggie was able to enjoy it.
Sports court, they would break it up during the day. You'd have pickleball, soccer, basketball, volleyball. They'd break it up, so overall it was pretty well spread out. There's 2 main hubs for the slides. There's a couple of them you do require 2 people, but a lot of them you can just do on your own. And you didn't have to pay extra for the water park. You could just go down the slides for free, which is incredible. So it's basically like a water park all to yourself. Especially on port days, you'll be the only one on the slides.
They did a really great job with that. Walking through Thrill Island, though, you get to the hideaway.
Hideaway. So I think on prior cruise ships they would usually have, what was it called? The adult area, remember?
I don't know.
I can't remember what they called the prior adult areas in the other ships. What usually was like hidden kind of in the middle of the ship. But this one, the adults get their own overlook infinity bar, overlook infinity pool.
Amazing.
Hot tubs.
Just like all to themselves. And when you walk in there, it's like a whole different world. It was amazing.
It's a really cool view.
When we were in the pool, the staff happened to bring out all of these champagne bottles and did champagne guns in everybody's mouth for like certain songs. It was just a fun party.
They definitely cater to adults. You don't get a really good appreciate, because when you're out in the ocean and you're just kind of cruising, you just overlook the back after the ship. It's really neat.
Oh, this is also where you can get yourself the best milkshake ever.
I didn't get video of it, but take my word for it. Go to Deserted Milkshake Bar.
It's kind of like hidden off to the side. Also, you have to pay extra for this as well, but it's absolutely worth it.
And they have alcohol milkshakes too.
So then also on this, it's they have that one crown thing where you can go and do the...
You basically walk the plank.
Walk the plank, yeah, which I didn't do, obviously.
You have to pay extra for it.
Heights, yeah.
They take video and pictures for you, but I think it's kind of a cool
You're
thing to
walking off the cruise ship, basically,
and
off the
then
side.
the plank drops, and then you just kind of bungee.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you're into that thing, go for it.
Yeah.
So this is our room tour. We had booked probably like 6 months to go. There were a couple of balconies available, but we wanted to save a little money for one of the events we're going to show you at the end, which is our favorite. So by not splurging on a balcony, we saved some money for definitely a cool dinner we're going to show you in just a bit. But for our room,
couch, awesome space. I mean, you got your TV, the AC worked well.
Just the ocean view.
Oh yeah, so the blackout curtains, definitely great. Tons of different little ports to plug your stuff into.
Plenty of lighting. Bed was big. It felt like a queen. Pretty sweet TV.
Yeah, you can rent movies.
Up lighting, side lighting, down lighting. It's pretty neat.
Couch space.
Pull-out bed too. You could theoretically fit 4 people in here, but it was perfect room for 2.
Nice storage. That was something big too. They had a lot of
and a mini fridge.
Yeah, they had like a lot of bucket areas where you could put all of your bathing suits, your shoes. I mean, we were impressed with the storage.
I think the mini fridge was kind of a new addition. I'm not used to that on cruise ships.
No, neither am I. Neither am I for sure.
Perfect lighting for my makeup.
Very nice, and you didn't feel cramped in there either. You know.
I felt it was pretty open. A lot of storage space. You could fit your dresses and evening attire, and then the suitcases fit under the bed, so you don't feel cramped at all. I don't know what to do with these bins. Shoes, socks.
Yeah, we did shoes and bathing suits and stuff like that. It was nice. This is after we already packed to leave, so you couldn't see how we had it set up, but both of us had our gown, gown and jackets and everything. Everything was great. Safe for all of our casino winning. Or
tissue boxes.
Yeah.
And then the bathroom. One of Heather's favorite features.
Yeah, is that they didn't have that nasty shower curtain that always attacks you when you're in there. You had like the nice, where you actually leave feeling clean and whatnot, and it was a nice addition, something different that we haven't had on any other cruise ships,
And there's a place to sleep in the shower. Usually you can barely even turn around. So plenty of room, stand-up shower.
Even for the interior, the booking.
Pressure was perfect. Water was hot. Overall, I think we didn't need any more.
Yeah.
Especially because we saved money to do our favorite event, which is going to be coming up in just a second. Oh, and one other thing about the rooms, the lighting was pretty cool.
Yeah, they did a good job with that.
You could do certain themes of the day. You could set the mood with the movie lighting. You could have only a couple on, but overall, it's pretty high tech.
Yeah, we were impressed. Really cool. We were in the perfect day at Coco Cay. You're able to see our ship compared to other ships that are considered large. The comparison, it's like, it's crazy.
That put it into perspective at how big the ship was. Because when you're looking at it far away, I mean, most of the cruise ships kind of look the same. But when you put it next to the Mariner of the Seas, this is one of their older ones. I think it's from the early 2000s. You can still appreciate it. It's basically double the width almost.
It's crazy.
So it's pretty neat.
This was the top of the top experiences for us. Both of us were just
hands down
blown away.
It is a bit pricey though. So this is I think the Chops Grill was one of the more expensive restaurants before. This is a new thing that Royal Caribbean has added. It's called the Empire Supper Club. It's going to be about $200 a person. Hear me out.
But
hear me out.
It includes
full course meal.
alcohol
drinks,
pairing included with it.
Yes, so if you can do the beverage package, this alcohol will be included.
And you have your own band to yourself. Like
it was like a time machine to the 1920s New York. That's what they were going for. So we had the option in the beginning. We were discussing if we were going to upgrade to a balcony or even a suite. We decided to stay in the interior or the ocean view, mainly because we weren't going to be in a room a lot, especially with this giant big cruise ship that we're going to explore all day. And then 2, we wanted to save that money and put it towards the Empire Supper Club. You probably have to reserve it before your cruise. I'm glad we did, because when we got on the cruise ship, there weren't any morning pairings. There's only one seat in the night. I think it's like 6:30 to 2.5, 3 hours long. So make sure if you're going to do the Empire Supper Club or think about it, reserve it before you go on the ship.
Because you won't have a chance
start
to
saving your money now because it is worth it. So we're going to take you inside the Empire Supper Club.
Oh my gosh. And they like meet you outside. It's super fancy. You wear your formal attire. And like Reggie said,
it's like a Great Gatsby time machine.
And so like when you go in, there's only limited seating, one time a night. They say they only do it one time a night because the chef has to curate, and make per person type deal. And the band was
awesome.
Amazing.
The bassist, the cellist, John from The Office on the piano.
John? I thought it was Jim.
Jim from The Office, John Krasinski.
Oh, okay.
Jim from The Office on the piano.
I was like, how did you get that wrong?
This is the menu. Most of it's already pre-fixed. The top one is all coming to you, but then you have the option between the steak, rabbit, and the sea bass.
For the main course, and I'm telling you that the little details that they put into each of the dishes, it's bar none. It's the best. It honestly. It was, we'll get you a little bit of the,
just the drinks.
A lot of drinks that come with every single one. Yeah, exactly.
And so, when you pay, pretty penny for a meal, you're always worried about if you're gonna get enough to eat. You get plenty to eat. I was definitely full by the end of it. I wasn't worried about it. But the details on the butterflies and the Caesar salad, the cocktails.
Reggie asked, what's the E for? I'm like, Empire Supper Club. But I mean, it was a blast into the past. The staff was amazing. The food that was a sea bass. Reggie got the Wagyu. I mean, look at all the cute little desserts. We just had such a blast.
It was the best of the best. I think that they're really trying to kind of show what they can offer and the best service too. So they probably put, you think about it, they're best servers at this restaurant. So overall, I would splurge if you're looking for a nice fancy meal.
Oh yeah, and some cotton candy on the cotton candy tree. They just put time into it. They explained it. They even picked the songs to go paired with your dishes.
It wasn't a dinner. It was an experience.
Yeah,
and I can vouch for that because they would serve a certain meal based on the song they were playing, and then the cocktail would accompany that. So overall, it was pretty neat. I've never had anything like that before.
Me either.
The music pairs with what you're eating.
It was amazing. We had a blast there, and the venue itself was beautiful. So we enjoyed taking some pictures. Oh, with the band. I wish we can relive that night again for sure.
So overall, Empire Supper Club, 10 out of 10 would recommend.
So all in all, we just took you to all the different floors on the Icon of the Seas, and we just wanted to give our final tips, I guess.
Yes.
Tips would
favorites, least favorites.
Favorites definitely Empire Supper Club. We just showed you that.
Hands down.
Can't
do it.
change
Book
it.
now.
Yeah, both of us hands down, both agree. We really enjoyed the music selection. Each place you went to had such a great variety. We love live music. We love just being in the scene, and just having that variety was just amazing. Another great variety where all the shows that you can go to, from Wizard of Oz to there was a beatboxing, just a live a cappella group.
I'd say the entertainment was top notch.
Yeah,
oftentimes on cruise ships, the entertainment's kind of
You see it one time and then they have the same thing going on every night.
When you're used to Vegas shows, the entertainment was awesome. The Wizard of Oz, which is their main Broadway musical show, they put a lot of production value into it.
The Aquadome show, everything, just the variety from each place.
So plenty of entertainment, a lot of cool shows. We did miss the ice skating show. I heard good things, but there's plenty of entertainment. So if you're looking for sit-down theater type shows, musicals, Broadway.
Amazing. Also loved how there was something to do all hours of the day.
That's true. No shortage of activities.
Yeah, from stretch classes to the random trivia to game shows.
That's one of the downsides though.
Yeah,
because there's so much to do and it's such a large ship, you're gonna have to pick between do I want to go to bingo?
Or do I want to go to the
gym?
Yeah. Yeah, there was just so much to do. But the app actually showed you can pick what you want to do, and then it reminds you. and it says like, oh hey, here's the app of you have plans. So.
It's been a couple years since our last Royal Caribbean cruise, but the app is actually decent now. A lot of the apps before, they were just trash, but the app is actually pretty good to where, like she was saying, you could favorite something and it will remind you, by the way, 15 minutes, you should probably go over here. You can also see what restaurants are open now. You can reserve things through the app. You can get your photos through the app. You can...
All of the reservations that we made for like the comedy club, all of the shows and stuff you did through the app. So then it just showed you and you went and scanned it when you checked in. I mean, it was nice.
You can still get your paper daily planner, but you can do it through your phone. So either way, it was pretty cool.
And it kept like a running thing of your tab as well. So like a lot of places you have to go.
Sometimes you don't want to look at that until the end.
I know, but I kind of liked it. I don't know. There was just a lot, but it was just a very great feature for sure.
A couple of downsides. Oh, another upside. As big of a ship as it was, we still didn't feel like we were crowded.
We felt like we were a little nervous. Okay, we're going to be sitting on top of each other. We're going to be
space.
waiting long lines.
Nobody's in your bubble.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Again, it wasn't at 100% capacity, but we could even see at 100%. I probably wouldn't worry about the crowds too much. There's plenty of room to stretch out.
Right. Downsides.
Not many. There's not many downsides. I think one of the downsides...
They're working out the kinks with some things.
Yeah,
and they're
for the
trying
second week of their sailing, they did fantastic. They clearly were practicing for a while. There's most of the staff, they're not new staff. They've been on other ships, so they already know what they're doing. They really wanted to make this the best experience because they know they put almost $2 billion into this.
It was crazy. And
it's built in Finland for I think almost $2 billion.
Yeah.
Like planned 6 or 7 years ago. There's going to be another one in the same class coming out next year. But I think because it's one of their iconic ships, they really put a lot of time in.
And the staff were so excited to be part of it too. Their excitement kind of fed into your time too. You're like, hey, I'm excited too. They're happy to be here. We're happy to be here.
With that, I mean, there's still going to be some kinks worked out. I think the main dining, it was a little kind of disorganized in terms of reservations versus my time, and certain waiters would want you to stay at their table. So we felt like we were kind of pressured into going to the main dining, which is kind of odd because there's so many other restaurants to choose from. I still think they're trying to work out the flow of the ship because they didn't know which restaurants were going to attract crowds. So I think by the time, if you're not booked yet, by the time you go on the ship, it'll all be worked out. Very little downsides. The cabin was perfect, even though we're in the smallest one. Most of it was done. They weren't like painting anything. I thought they were going to still be like, oh, they didn't have the escape room yet.
Yeah,
what the heck? They did advertise for an escape room, which we love. But right next to the Crown Lounge, I think in the forward part of the ship, you'll see on the deck plan there's an escape room, which I think is on a prior ship, but it's not there yet.
Yeah, but I feel like that was the only thing that was like coming soon, you know?
But most of the part, the ship
can we talk about how easy it was to get on the ship and off the ship? Honestly.
That's another thing, especially in Miami Port. Miami Port's usually crazy.
Yeah.
They built a new terminal. I don't know if it was specifically for the ship, but they built a new terminal. We parked and we're on the boat in 10 minutes.
I mean, it was nuts. They checked our passport in. We were able to go straight to our stateroom. We were
almost
able to.
8,000 people. I know a lot of the crews on the ship.
Yeah.
Almost 6,000 passengers, and we were just on the boat in 10 minutes. Off the boat.
Yeah, it was.
They put a lot of thought into.
We've been on a couple ships where we're
in there for hours. So it's a scheduled time, but even with the scheduled time, you sometimes wait. So overall, 10 out of 10.
Easy.
Book the Icon. We're gonna be back, but we might go on. I think it's the Star of the Season 2020.
And that's coming out in out of Orlando.
Yeah, Orlando, which is cool.
But hands down, great times to be had on the ship. You can go with couples. You could go by yourself. You can have a blast. There's something for everybody on the ship. Icon of the Seas, iconic.